This might be the most telling thing Stephen Jones has said all offseason, and if you care about what happens next with this Dallas Cowboys roster, you need to hear every word of this, because it changes everything we thought we knew about the Brandon Aubrey situation. And before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because here at Cowboys Live News, we bring you every single update the moment it drops, so you never miss a thing. Alright, let's get into it because Stephen Jones just went on record, and what he said should have every Cowboys fan paying close attention right now. He came out and admitted that negotiations with Brandon Aubrey have been going on since before the season even started. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't something that just popped up in the last few weeks. This has been brewing for months, and here's the part that should make you a little nervous. Jones used the word journey to describe those talks. Now when an NFL executive calls contract negotiations a journey, you know things haven't been smooth sailing. He flat out said they haven't been able to reach a point where everyone agrees, and that's why a deal hasn't gotten done yet. But he also made it clear the Cowboys would love to lock Aubrey in long term. So what does that actually mean for the franchise, and where does this leave one of the most dangerous weapons in the entire league right now? Let's break it down, because there's a lot more going on here than people realize. Brandon Aubrey isn't just a good kicker. This man has completely changed the way Dallas approaches the second half of the field. When your kicker can drill it from nearly 70 yards out with consistency, you're essentially in scoring range the moment you cross the 50. That kind of weapon is rare. That kind of reliability is priceless. And the Cowboys know it. So why hasn't a deal gotten done yet? That's the million-dollar question. Actually, it might be a multi-million-dollar question, because here's what nobody is talking about. The kicker market has shifted dramatically over the last couple of years. Justin Tucker reset expectations. Jake Moody got a nice payday. And now Aubrey is looking at a situation where he has all the leverage in the world. He performed at an elite level, he stayed healthy, he delivered when it mattered most. So if you're his agent, you're not taking a discount. You're going for the top of the market and maybe even trying to push past it. And I don't blame Aubrey one bit if that's the approach. The problem for Dallas is this team has a history of dragging out contract negotiations and letting them turn into full-blown sagas that distract from everything else. We watched it happen with Dak. We watched it happen with CeeDee. We watched it happen with Micah Parsons, and look how that turned out. That trade to Green Bay still stings, and honestly, it never should have gotten to that point. When you let things drag on too long, sometimes you lose the player entirely, and sometimes you damage the relationship beyond repair, even if they stay. The Cowboys cannot afford to let that happen again with Aubrey. This roster is trying to climb back after 2 straight seasons without a playoff appearance, and you don't get there by pushing away the guys who actually produce. And the crazy part is, the front office knows all of this. Stephen Jones even acknowledged that they want to get it done. So the question becomes, what's the holdup? Is it total money? Is it guaranteed money? Is it the length of the deal? These are the details that separate a quick negotiation from a months-long standoff, and right now it feels like both sides are dug in waiting for the other to blink. Let's talk about what this could mean for the locker room, because that's an angle a lot of people overlook. When a star player sees management dragging its feet on a teammate's contract, it sends a message. It tells guys maybe this organization doesn't reward performance the way it should. Maybe loyalty only goes one way here. And once that seed gets planted, it's hard to undo. The Cowboys need to be careful about the culture they're building, and the way they handle Aubrey will absolutely be noticed by every other player in that facility. Now let's pivot to another name that came up in the same update, because Stephen Jones also mentioned that the team is leaning toward using the franchise tag on George Pickens. For those who might not remember, Pickens came over to Dallas and had a breakout season in 2025. That was his first year in this offense, and he showed exactly why Pittsburgh was so high on him coming out of the draft. Dynamic route runner, contested catch ability that's borderline elite, and a swagger that this receiving core desperately needed. If Dallas tags him, that locks him in for another year, but it doesn't solve the long-term question. And here's where the cap situation starts to get interesting. You've got Aubrey needing a new deal, you've got Pickens likely getting tagged, you've got other roster decisions looming, and free agency opens in early March, which means the front office doesn't have a lot of time to figure this out. Every move impacts the next one. Every dollar committed somewhere is a dollar you can't spend elsewhere. This is the part of roster building that fans don't always see, but trust me, it's a chess match behind the scenes, and one wrong move can set you back years. So what should the Cowboys do? Personally, I think you prioritize Aubrey. I know that sounds crazy to say about a kicker, but this isn't your average kicker. This is a game-changing weapon who has proven himself at the highest level. You lock him in, you remove the distraction, you show the locker room that performance gets rewarded in Dallas, and then you figure out the Pickens situation from there, whether that's a tag or a long-term extension or something else entirely. The draft is coming up in late April, and that gives the front office some flexibility to address other needs. But right now, the priority has to be keeping the core together and making sure the guys who carried this team feel valued. Let me ask you something. If you were running the Cowboys, would you pay Aubrey top of the market money for a kicker? I know it feels weird to even debate that, but the reality is special teams wins games. We've seen it over and over again. A missed kick can end your season, a clutch kick can extend it, and Aubrey has been nothing but clutch since he arrived. So yeah, I'd pay him, I'd get the deal done yesterday, and I'd move on to the next problem because there are plenty of those to go around. This offseason is going to define the next chapter of Cowboys football, and how the front office handles these contract situations will tell us a lot about where this franchise is really headed. Are they serious about competing, or are they going to let pride and pennies get in the way of building a winner? I guess we'll find out soon enough, but if Stephen Jones is being honest about wanting Aubrey back, then stop talking about it and make it happen. Cowboys Nation deserves better than another drawn-out negotiation that ends in disappointment. Alright, that's the update for today, and I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Dallas gets a deal done with Aubrey before free agency? Or does this drag into the summer? And what about Pickens? Are you good with the franchise tag, or do you want to see a long-term commitment? Drop your thoughts below because I read every single comment, and I love hearing what you all think. If you made it this far and you're not subscribed yet, come on now, you know you need to hit that button because we're covering everything Cowboys all off season long and you don't want to miss a single update. Until next time, stay loud Cowboys Nation, and I'll catch you in the next one.